This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this StockBox interview. Darren Hazlewood is joining us here on StockBox. Darren, good to talk to you. I think it's almost the first time this year. How are things?
Yeah, no, good. Thanks, Mark. You?
Yeah. All good. Interesting to see what this year brings. Of course, with the new president in the United States, I'm hoping that brings a bit more enthusiasm or risk-on appetite, particularly for the sector that we're all very familiar with here. But
Mark, the sector's moving. We're seeing pockets of liquidity. I think that we're now entering the bull phase of the market. People won't necessarily be seeing that. There's been a lot of pain over the last few years, but we've seen over the last couple of years government support increase. But recently we've obviously seen the moving gold. That's starting to create headlines across the globe. That brings people naturally into the sector. We're seeing copper move. We're seeing the majors coming right down to early exploration projects, and the only people that haven't moved is the market. That can move very quickly. I think it will, but yeah, I'm very confident now that the sector's it's bottomed, and we're now moving forward.
And you're not just saying that as a CEO of a junior mining company who wants to give enthusiasm and confidence to your shareholders, because I know we've talked a lot over the last 5 years, and you do make predictions, and some of them have a habit of coming true. So is this a genuine feeling, Darren? It's not just
Yeah, no. I've reactivated my own personal portfolio.
Interesting, because so have I. I haven't put fresh money in the markets for a number of years, but I started back end of last year. Yeah. No. It's clearly going. I've talked a lot about the supply side, and where you're seeing governments put money in. Governments can see that the supply side is looking very weak now in the near term. Look, there isn't an analyst globally that predicted zinc would go negative supply in 2024. Not one. The zinc went negative for about 4 months on the supply side in 2024. It wasn't predicted to go into negative supply for years. And that starts to paint a picture of the pressure that is built up in this system, in this market, and that now we're starting to see those pockets of liquidity. And that's the signal that the entire sector will go, that all boats rise. And now it's time for us to action accordingly. I'm not just talking my own shop. You'll read in RNSs over the last few months that I've talked about accelerating the work that Panther are doing, and I wasn't saying that because I thought the bear market was going to continue. The signs have been there for a little while, and they're accelerating. Okay. And the way that you accelerate these businesses is success with a drill bit. Well, exactly, yeah. So, I mean, that brings us on to talk about the drilling there. You say that the rocks are very interesting. You've, of course, been drilling at Dotted Lake, haven't you? So, I mean, let's just talk about really how that campaign has been going and what that recent drilling has been telling you.
Yeah, well, look, we were pleased with what we've seen from the core. We extended the program. We increased the amount of drilling we did by about 30%. And the initial results from hole one are extremely encouraging. It confirms two things. It confirms that we have an orogenic gold system at Dotted Lake, and it also confirms that we've got a VMS. There are two different geological events, and that's very exciting. And that's off of a single hole, and we've got 4 more to go.
Okay. So it confirms you've got a VMS, and so what will the other 4 holes sort of be
What's their objective?
Do you want to have a look?
At the core?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Let's bring it in.
Bring it in, yeah.
So we've got 5 holes, Mark. So
Okay.
what we've done, it means that it takes a little bit longer. And hole 1 was our main focus. We were aiming to get the results out before Christmas. Come out on the 30th in the end, but we was happy with that. But it does slow the process down just a touch. You'll notice that none of this core has been cut. That's by design. So if I pick a hole 1 to 5.
3.
Okay. So what you're now seeing is the dry. This is dry. So this is a core from hole 3, boxed in its dry form.
Okay.
And you can go through the entire boxes of the core.
We're getting deeper here, presumably, as you go down.
Yeah, so you'll see there that relates to the depth. So that's at 117.6 meters. This is at 134.2.
Okay.
And we can now see the entire core laid out in its dry form. Now, wet changes the visuals.
Mm-hmm.
We get more of an indication of what's going on, hence why they wet the core. If I go on there and just drag this across, again, you can see the depths correspond. And this is the core in its wet form. So you're now seeing hole 3 at a depth of 217 meters.
Okay.
One of the things we do like about this system is if I just remove these imagery, we're still on hole 3. So we'll go down hole wet. You get a better visual off of that. So what you're now looking at, this is the very top of hole 3. Just bear with us. The system, because the data it's loading up, it can take a little while just to click in. And there we go. So you're now at, you see there, it started at 2 meters. That'll tell you the overburden there was approximately 2 meters in that particular location. And then you can go through the entire core. So if you want to pick a number between 1 and 300, Mark.
275.
275. So if we go 275, and there is your core at 275 meters. In fact, there's your tag.
Yeah,
275 meters. So we can actually go through every single bit of the core in detail. And the advantage to this system is we're obviously an area at Dotted Lake that is you've got an orogenic gold system, you've got a VMS system, and you've also got the ultramafic intrusives on the southern bit. So you've got 3 different mineralized systems all meeting in one area. If I can show you a map, but first of all, let me just show you, give you an example of some of the work we've done on this process. And this would be hole 1. And as you can see there, it's all laid out now in terms of where the zinc was, where the gold is, etc. So
and how are you determining those? Is it with XRF visual or?
No, this is a hole. This is hole 1. So this is a hole that's been announced, and this is the discovery made. This is actually a VMS. Now we believe this is a VMS splay on a bongo. About 1.5 kilometers away, you've got fair service showing, which is over 12% zinc and 2 grams a ton gold. And that's also a splay off of a VMS system.
Okay.
So let's not forget, Lansom Lake holds one of the biggest copper, the 3rd biggest copper anomaly in northern Ontario via the government lake sediment sampling program. The top 2 are actually at the Marathon deposit that's going to become the Marathon mine over the next couple of years. And third on that was the result at Dotted Lake, which we have. So we've got a VMS system. It's got splays, but now this gives us the ability to home in to the area. Now, a system that we've got here that I'm just showing you, the advantages are that in geology, you have sort of generalist geologists and then you have specialist geologists. So, for instance, we've talked a little bit about Bruce Gemmell and looking at the core at Wishbone.
Mm-hmm.
And Bruce has been to Thunder Bay. He's looked at our core at Wishbone on the Bonga. And he's confirmed that his feelings are it's a subsea floor VMS, and we're in the core of that VMS. Now, that kind of expertise requires somebody to come and look at the core. But at Dotted Lake, we've got 3 systems running into one. Let me bring this map up, Mark. We've got 3 systems running into one. So with the core logged like this and shown, yes, it does slow down the process in terms of results slightly, but the advantages are huge. We need to do it before we cut the core. So the processes for core going into the labs, you drill the core, you log the core, and now we're photographing the core digitally, bringing it into our software. Then we're cutting the core. Then the core goes off to the lab. So we're adding another step into this. But the advantage is that we can now go directly to the experts on VMS, show them the core, talk about the core, and they can give their opinions instantly. It makes the company so much more nimble in terms of what we're doing, and especially in an area where you've got so many different components, such as you've got your orogenic gold, you've got your ultramafic, intrusive. Again, that's a different skill set. And then you've got your VMS, which is a different skill set. And we can go directly to these people now. We can go online, and it just makes us so much more nimble in terms of our next stages. And we already know where we'd like to drill next. And there'll be further news on that. And there's about 700 meters we'd probably like to do to confirm a couple of things that we believe on the back of what we've seen so far. And of course, we also need our results. Don't forget, in the autumn as well, during this program, we took over 1,000 soil samples, which they're going to be, they're huge pathfinders in the Dotted Lake area. And all those elements are now coming together. Okay. And if I just give you an example here, I've brought this map up. Now, these lines you're seeing here, these are all faults. This is actually a major fault structure through the entire region, and you can see the topography on this. Now, these are cliffs all the way along. You see this runs this. They are there due to the geological events that have happened along this structure. But you can see faulting. You can see all crossing each other. These are all the weak points in the earth structure where you get deposits form. And that's why on the core, we've now logging and photographing all the core so that we can bring in the expertise required to take it to the next stage. And actually, you can see Lansom Lake there. Now, we drilled into the edges of Lansom Lake. You've got nearly 0.1% copper in lake sediments. That's the 3rd highest in that entire campaign. As I say, the other 2 are on the Marathon mine site. It's always been an exciting area, and now we're bringing the technology together to enable us to be as nimble a business as we can for everyone. Okay. And it's extremely exciting moving forward.
So, well, it's really good to see Panther active, and you've got the core there, the results there to sort of show the activity that's going on the ground. And so, what you're saying is, with this software that you're employing now, it means you can call upon individual experts to sort of very quickly give you their opinion, rather than sort of save the time and the logistics of getting them out to site effectively. So it basically gives you more scope in terms of sort of making some decisions on where to go for future exploration. So on that point, how's that sort of panning out?
It saves cost. It saves cost, and it means that we're able to act very quickly. We know we've got mineralization. See, in holes 2 to 5, We know there's mineralization in those core. We've told the market this. What we don't know is to what extent. And but they're all either a discovery and pathfinders. You've got nickel, copper. Now, PGs is going to be an interesting one because that doesn't show up on the system that we've used. But yeah, it would fit in with the area and the core that we're seeing.
So just to get a picture of what's going on now, then, so there's still current drilling ongoing that you're concluding.
No, we're all the core is in the labs.
Okay.
We're waiting on the core results.
Okay.
But we all and also the soils. And we're excited to see these numbers. But we already know that there are a couple of areas that, as we build up our knowledge here, that we'd already like to go back to and drill.
Okay.
And that's as a result of the programs that we've now got in place, people we can talk to, and the expertise on individual type deposits that we can call on.
Okay. So then what would sort of a success outcome look like for this round of exploration here when you get your core back? I know you've talked before about sort of majors are looking, perhaps majors are waiting to see core, effectively, or see results from core. What does success look like? A phone call from a major, or big mineralization, or better understanding of the structure so you can hone in on drilling? What are we talking here?
Well, we've already seen success on this program. Hole one is exceptionally good result. We've seen gold in, we've seen orogenic gold in that hole. We've seen VMS discovery within that hole. We're already on the pathway to success. What we see in holes 2 to 5 will just add to the story. And what do we see as success? It's got to be further pathfinders. But because of what we're uncovering here, this is an exceptionally busy area. And we know we've got multiple types of mineralization within that area. We've got multiple types of systems within that area. So it's like a jigsaw puzzle. You're putting it all together. There's a pentonite zone to the south. Now we're certain that's a conduit, and the results will derive our next steps on that location. And as is already known, we have people showing a lot of interest in what we're doing, and we'll continue to develop those relationships. And it's all about value add. It's all about adding value. Now, do we believe this program has added value? Oh, absolutely. That's without a shadow of a doubt. So, and our next steps, they're known, but they're not maybe defined at this point. They'll be news to the market when they are.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Darren. Thank you for that update. So we'll wait to see, you said things are known but not defined. So effectively, the next stage is sort of defining a bit more, looking for those pathfinders to understand and build the jigsaw puzzle, as you say. Is it fair to say it's quite a very complex area?
Not now. We understand exactly. We understand what's going on. What we don't understand is the extent. So, for instance, at the moment, we've got a gold strike length of around 1.4 kilometres. We'd like a further hole that we believe is within a mineralised structure, and that'd be about 4 kilometres. About 3.5, 3.6 kilometres away. So then you've got a strike length of 4 kilometres. Okay. All the time we're expanding this system, and we believe that our work will expand it. So yeah, that would be next step.
Expanding this and building on it. Okay, and
whilst others are watching, obviously at the end of the day, what would be our aim here? It would be a partnership or a buyout. We own this property 100%. There's no NSR on it, nothing, no other financial instrument. And we're rapidly heading that way in terms of uncovering what's hidden below that overburden on Dotted Lake.
Okay. So that's the focus, Dotted Lake. And when are we expecting those results?
I would expect them over the next month.
Okay.
We're in the hands of the labs.
Yeah, of course.
We can do no more than wait for the labs to process them, and as soon as we get
an
them,
idea though.
Once we get them, they'll be out to the market.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you, Darren, for your time as always, and let's catch up again on those results.
Thanks, Mark.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like, or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at StockBoxMedia.com. Thank you for watching.